welcome back to Random Thoughts from a Crazy Girl's Mind. Today we are going to talk about something that I think is really important, and that is self-image, body image, really. And obviously I'm a girl, so I'll be talking about that from a girl's perspective. And I'm going to apologize, had a few. Okay, so here's the thing. There is this whole class of people out there, usually celebrities, that have these bodies that are just completely unreal. I mean, you look at them and it is the epitome of everything that you've ever wanted to be. And you look at these girls and you wonder like why people are so obsessed with it. I like to read celebrity gossip blogs because I get bored. Oh, husband. So but one of the things that really frustrates me about it is there's all these like pictures of celebrities in their bikinis, and they get so harsh on some of them. Like, they gain like 5 pounds, and they're like, oh my god, she's gone completely to waste. And you have to wonder, like, the people who are writing these blogs, what did their partners look like? How do they feel about that? Because I'd be really pissed if my husband had anything like that to say about me. I think he looks amazing, and I would hope that he would say the same about me. So, recently I started reading the comments on these blogs, which was a really bad idea on my part. But one in particular, the Superficial, I was reading them, and it was like, people are insane. The people who are commenting would be like, oh, she's so ugly, blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking, she looks better than 99% of the population, and what are you hitting that you think that is bad? And obviously, it's just a really big blow to my self-esteem, and I imagine the self-esteem of many, many people across the world. So, that's what we're going to talk about. Models. Alright, models. So, I'm really, really tall. You can't tell this through the webcam, maybe. If I stood up, you could. But, I'm 6'4", and people comment on this all the time. And it doesn't really bother me. I've gotten so used to it. Oh, hey, how tall are you? Oh, I'm 6'4". Oh, do you play basketball? No. Play volleyball? No. Okay, well, whatever. But the thing that really gets me is that people will be like, oh, you should be a model. And I know they mean that really well. I know they're trying to be nice. But here's what I hear when I hear that. I hear, oh, if you just gained or lost a little bit of weight, you could be a model. Because I know what size I am. I'm a size 11. So, I know that's not a model size, and, well, plus size model maybe. And so, to me, when they say that, it's just a reinforcement of all these negative ideas I have about myself that I should be skinnier, I should be thinner, I should look better. And so it's really hard for me to hear, and that's kind of surprising given that it's supposed to be a compliment, and you wonder if someone who's getting complimented is feeling like that, how do people feel that are getting put down? I mean, it's got to be a billion times worse, so that's something to think about. When you are giving people compliments, think about how it might be taken. And I don't want to say you shouldn't compliment people, because you should. And I really, really love getting complimented. And these same people that tell me I should be a model, if they were just like, oh, you're so pretty, I'd be like, oh, thank you. Or you have really nice bone structure, I'd be like, oh, thank you. But when they say, you should be a model, what I hear is, you're wasting your body. But I don't think I am, because my body, as many flaws as it has, is the body that is serving me and serving my life. And the joy that I get out of eating a bowl of ice cream or whatever is more important than what I would get out of seeing the magazine spread itself. So there's that. Be careful how you compliment people, because it might come off a little different than you anticipate. We get to advertising. Now, advertising is something that is often blamed for really negative self-image of a lot of girls in this day and age. And I have to agree, actually. I know a couple of people who work in advertising, and probably would be happy to hear me say that, because they like to say that advertising follows trends, and so the trends need to change, or the people need to change before the advertising will change. But I think that there is definitely this idea amongst the advertisers that there is an image that they need to project, and it's the image that sells. And whether or not you want to blame them or say that they're just following the trends, it is a real issue. And girls see that every day. When I was a girl growing up, I used to have images saved on my computer of the models from my LA catalog, because I wanted to look like that. And it was it was a motivation for me, but I never lived up to it, and so it just was continually me feeling guilty, me feeling bad all the time. And I think it's a shame, and this is something that's a little difficult for me to talk about, but when I was in college, my roommate was sick. She had an eating disorder, and I was one of the very last people to realize. And that was really hard for me, because if I felt a little guilty, well, a lot guilty, actually. If I had noticed sooner, I could have been a very strong voice and talking to her and getting her treatment. And I mean, partly it's not my fault, because she did tell me later that she purposely, when the few times that she did eat, she made on purpose that they were around me, because she really, really didn't want me to know. But still, I feel guilty because during the whole period that this was happening, I was really jealous of the way that she was losing weight, and I was jealous of her self-control. I wished that I could eat like that, or that I could exercise as much as she did, because she had exercise bulimia as well, and she would work out hours and hours a day. And I just felt guilty that I couldn't compare to her. And then later, when she ended up getting so thin that it was very obvious and ended up getting very sick and had to be hospitalized, I felt so guilty, because I think about all the times that I was sitting in our room and I was like, oh, this girl looks so great, or I wish I could lose 10 pounds, and that had made an impact on her. And I think we all make impacts on the people around us in different ways and we don't even realize. So, I know I'm rambling a bit, and I'm sorry, but what I'm trying to say is look at the people around you and try to appreciate them for themselves and not for the size of their waist. And when you give people compliments, or when you try and relate to people on a physical level, be conscious of what you're saying. Don't just go along with the norms, because sometimes the norms aren't healthy or aren't good. And you know, I'm not encouraging anyone to be obese or overweight, but people should be comfortable with themselves and they should be healthy. And I know I'm at a healthy weight, and sometimes I really, really struggle with it, because I wish I was thinner, or I wish I was thinner, or whatever. I wish I had bigger boobs. And I don't think I'm, a terribly hideous person. I think my husband would agree. But I really struggle with this, and I think about the people who are maybe a little less fortunate than I, and how much harder it is on them. And I think it's just a real shame that in our society today it's okay to ridicule people for something that they can't control, like the size of their nose, or, the crookedness of their teeth. That's one for me. I used to have braces, and I got really straight teeth, and I really loved it. My retainer cracked about a year ago. Even though I've been wearing it for about 5 years, I had to stop wearing it when it cracked, and you can see my bottom teeth, they're not so great anymore, and it's really frustrating for me. So, I forgot where I was going with that, but anyway, there's this idea out there that the only people who are opposed to beautiful women being on display all the time are ugly women. And I think that's the thing, because everyone should be concerned about it. And I'm not saying that we need to go out and watch shows about ugly people. I actually always used to say that Seinfeld, I didn't like it because everyone was on it was ugly. And that's okay, I'm not saying that's bad, but in real life, we really, really need to encompass everybody and love everybody. And it sounds so corny, but I don't think people think about it often enough, about how much that affects it, and how much it affects people. And what I'm saying is it's really difficult to be a girl in this day and age. And body image is something that almost every girl is concerned with, and many, many men as well. This is something that often gets tempted to kind of the women's world, but I know there are a lot of guys out there who struggle with not having the six-pack abs, and for them as well, we need to say that the reality is that people are people, and there's more than just someone's physical appearance to what they are. And for everyone who's out there who thinks that you're ugly, there's someone else who thinks that you're not, and just try to remember that. I guess that's what I'm saying. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.